Like you could go up and you could stand at the Temple Mount and touch the Dome of the Rock. A Jew can't go and stand up. We only get escorted there at very specific times, and we do so with security, and there are very specific protocol. But like anyone could go up there. A Buddhist could go up there. A Buddhist could go up there and chant, whatever chant they want to chant. Or the Krishna, they can chant the, you know, whatever is deep to them. But for us, a Jew to go up there, like we want to talk about apartheid. Like this is real
Right.
apartheid.
So there's discrimination against Jews openly worshiping in the Temple Mount, and now you're saying they're allowing it.
Not this past weekend. The weekend prior, I put on a Jewish interfaith concert with Muslims and Jews. And
Oh, I love it. So talk about that. We just talked about you going up to pray at the Temple Mount, and some people are thinking, here's some radical Jew
right,
who's Islamophobic,
right,
who's going up there to offend the Muslims. And actually, you're involved in interfaith
yeah,
music with
right,
Muslims. So tell us about that.
yeah. So I met after October 7th. I've
Mhm.
been sitting in different spiritual communities, and one of them is a community that's out in California, out here, that puts on really nice, beautiful like Shabbaton like ceremonies. And I'm sitting there in this weekend, and
So
it's
tell us what a Shabbaton is for those who don't know.
yeah, a Shabbaton is just like a weekend retreat where we come together over Shabbat, and then there's different events happening. This weekend um, we were sitting in kind of like an interfaith ceremony,
Hmm.
and when we say that, it's called Path of the Moon. And we were looking at why is it called Path of the Moon is because like obviously Abrahamic tradition shows that Judaism and also Islam, we follow the moon, the lunar calendar, and we are people. There's a lot of other reasons, but we are a people of the path of the moon, and we had this like interfaith gathering. And over the weekend, I started kind of connecting. Like at the time when I was there, it was kind of challenging, obviously, to hear the Muslim call of prayer. Um, this was like right after October 7th to kind of hear that. And then also we at the end of the weekend, we did a Havdalah that we led. And, I think for them, some of these Muslims, it was challenging for them who, um, some of them obviously never been to a temple before. And so they felt um, afraid, afraid. And also some of them were uh, ignorant at the time, as I was ignorant, I would say. Not ignorant as in a negative form, but like we just didn't understand why we would be afraid of hearing each other's faiths. So each other's
Try to explain to the audience when you heard the Muslim call to prayer,
yeah.
what was there some kind of like visceral reaction in the pit of your stomach, like this is what was shouted when they killed Jews on October 7th, or what was the
It reminded me of when I was living in Jerusalem,
yeah,
and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd hear the call to prayer at like 1 or whatever that was, 2 in the morning.
around 4:30 in the morning? I used to hear
So
it
it
all
was
the
like
time.
really, and you're trying to sleep, and it like reminded me of this like visceral like feeling in my body that I'm trying to sleep, and why is this happening, and like not understanding why we if it's at the time I didn't understand why at all times of the day. I just thought it was an annoyance. I didn't understand that they prayed, I think, 5 times a day. Like
Right.
it was
What
significant.
neighborhood were you in, out of curiosity?
I was living in the old city.
Oh, okay. So you're definitely hearing it in the old
Yeah,
city.
yeah.
I lived in Baca, and if you had your windows open and it was really quiet, you could hear it at between 4 and 4:30, coming from Abu Tor. But if you're in the old city, you're hearing it loud and clear. I once was in Amman in Jordan, and there they do things a little bit differently. I don't know exactly why, but at midnight, full blast in the hotel room, uh, the loudest thing you ever heard, the call to prayer,
Right.
the actual prayers. It's not just the call to prayer.
And they're beautiful. I mean, like at the time, I just thought it was an annoyance where I was in my life. I mean, this was like 15 years ago, and like then I moved, and then a few years later, I was up living in Nachlaot, which is over near the Agrippa Shuk,
Mhm.
which is like
Yeah.
where people go shopping, and it's like where my yeshiva was when in Chabad Yeshiva, and you maybe hear it a bit less because you're not right in the center of
Yeah.
Jerusalem. But at this ceremony, at this Shabbaton, there was a lot of interfaith discussion, kind of conversations between Israelis, Palestinians, people that were Lebanese, some were Turkish Muslims.
Wow.
It was, and then just American Jews. So it was like a weekend of like connected prayer and community.